Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I know I said we were going to finish up for the night, but thankfully, Mark Horner has offered to come in and provide a little bit of insight into how these teams are approaching the second map of the best of three. We've got the one overlay on. It's okay. We'll adapt. This is an on-the-fly type event. Not too sure who won map one. I missed that.
I missed that too.
Method. All right, we had Method winning out the first map, so Demise on the back foot.
Which map? Oh, Demise won the first map.
All right, well, that's
fake news, everybody.
Demise got the first map. I believe it went to an overtime, so it was a very close game indeed. And here on Derailed, things are getting a little bit interesting. It's only going to be Toxja left alive here on the Axis side for Method. And a quick round to start things off as Demise claimed that 1-0. It's a nice opening. We didn't catch too much of the round. We will be seeing a little bit more of this.
Halfway through. Typically B-sided map, generally on attack. A lot of people will just rush B, throw nades in. It's very hard to hold the site with the nades coming in. Two different areas to nade. You need the site, you need marble, which is like the house at the back. And generally it's a timing issue, right? If you throw in the fast nades, you get the kills. People are going to come in late. But then people wait for the late nades, and then people just come in straight away. And it's a 50-50 gamble.
Okay. Well, I mean, already you're seeing that little bit of a delay, right, coming from Demise. They don't want to cross mid too early. They know the nades are going to top down. They could come in a little bit delayed from Method overall. They actually do find the opening kill over towards the Cinema, with Adamello claiming the life of Samuel G. With that kill underway, it's going to be kind of hard to get into this bomb site. I mean, it's a hard site to work if you don't have that control of Cinema, and the nice flank coming in from Rebirth as well, claiming the life of Dins. Demise are on a real back foot right now, 3 versus 4, and they decide to back off from B and start taking things over towards that A site. It's very slow though, so surely Method are going to start to get a little bit of a read on this.
You tend to see that a lot. People will try and have this sort of standard play where they'll sort of get a couple of guys whole, try and get cinema control. If you lose cinema control, 90% of the time, right, let's regroup, come back. What utility we got? Okay, we've got 2 smokes, we've got 2 nades. We can try and take church. We can try and plant A. But if you try and take B with 3 guys after you've lost cinema control, you can't do it. So 90% of the time, teams are just going to come back, fall back, go down tunnel, and just try and take A and send one guy around grave. If you've got enough time, that's great, but it doesn't work all the time. Yeah, but, you know, Method, they've read this. They're ready for it. They know what's coming. Toxi's going to go and get hole. One guy's pushing L. They're pushing into church, but they can't cover all angles at once. Someone's going to be able to stop the plant.
Yeah, for sure. And, oh, hold on, actually. Because Blues finds that kill, that makes things a little bit more doable. Canaler being dropped down. Adamello not able to stop the plank going down, but a really nice spam through the smoke as he finds one, leaving it into a 3v2. Now, as they come in for this retake, though, Nielska's starting to go around for a little bit of a flanky danker, and that could make things a little bit awkward. Or Strove, rather, going around for the flank, as Nielska distracted from behind. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. That's a misplay, but eventually connects it at least. And 1v1 right now, this is really hard to defuse, because you don't quite know where he's going. Like, they have to find this kill on the Strove, right?
Yeah, he's heard him. He knows where he is. It's a cat and mouse game now.
Strove just running around the bomb site, playing the mouse perfectly, but now he's got a strike, and he does indeed with efficiency, finding a 3rd kill in the round, and a very nice win for Demise, who, as we found out, are 1-0 up. So this map, starting out on the Allied side, already having 2 rounds on the board. What would you say from your experience, Mark, that Demise are going to be aiming for here on the Allied side?
I think it's B control, right? Because you can see they've already got 2 Tommies, 3 carbines, 2 nades, 4 smokes, 3 nades now, 4 smokes. Just get the timing nades into B, push through a hole. They know the access economy isn't great. They don't have very many nades. They've only got 2 nades on street. If they try and throw them fast, which they have 2 nades now, one after the other, they're probably going to be able to take B pretty easily here. And I think they're going to struggle to try and get cinema control.
It does look to be the case. They're slow crossing on mid, but they do eventually make it there. The nades go down as Niels takes down Rebirth. And now they've claimed that cinema control, a big difference to the last round where they got shredded trying to make their way in there. This really opens up the bomb site for them, giving them a lot more access. But Tox just claiming the kill on the Strove, bringing it back to a 4v4. Still going to favor the Allies a little bit, but they're starting to stack up now on the Axis side. They know the push is coming in here. Trade's going down, but you have still got 2 in position. It's Cordy and Adamello ready to take some kills. Towards the bottom of stairs, 1.
Yeah, this should be an easy pick for them on the guy in Fantasy, the corner, because it's got Fantasy's picture in the corner, which is pretty cool. But this guy hiding, he can play time, he can sit in. He's got someone sat on the fruit stand that's covering his push. He can sit there all day long. He's just waiting for someone to push him. Now they can't cover his push. He's probably going to be at risk. But again, it's an easy spot to hold. You know, there's some really good angles. You can throw him, get covered by the stairs, and he's done it perfectly. Now it's a winnable situation easily for Axis as well.
Yeah, with only one guy alive and the bomb still to be planted, 30 seconds on the clock, it's going to be very hard for Nielsen to win this out. He's got a close range weapon. He's going to take that long range fight. He's up against the Gewehr on Kanaler, who's already lit down really low. The opportunity to hit ahead there, but oh, look at the HP of the two players. One bullet on each of them with the Tommy, and that was all over, but not connecting it. That's 2-1.
Yeah, not a fan of double pushing there. You know, you've got time. He doesn't have time to rotate away, wait for him to plant, and then go one at a time. And he's going to run out of time with 20 seconds left. A number of players would be able to take those 2 kills and win the round. And that's where I think there's the difference between a lot of teams is where people know when they should do things, when they shouldn't do things. And if someone's good enough to make those shots, then Method could lose that round, and then they're still broke on the economy. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, we did see it was literally 1 bullet per player was all that was needed to close that out. That could have been a big misplay for Method, and giving away a 3-0 lead to Demise in the back of a round that they should have won could have been very detrimental to their mentality so early on in the game where they're already 1-0 down. That's always kind of lingering in the back of their mind, right? Like, anytime this map starts to get a little bit out of control, they have no backup. Losing here is at best a 3rd placement in the LAN.
Yeah, it's difficult. If you're down 1-0 and you're playing the second map, and if the second map's not going well, it's a tough mental challenge, and there's not many teams that are strong enough to know, you know, we might be losing 10-0, we could be losing 9-0, we could be losing 9-2, we might have lost a half 10-5, 11-4. There's not many teams that still have that genuine belief that they can do it and they can bring it back. But on a map like Derailed, that seems to be currently very, very one-sided in terms of, I'd say allies at the moment, based on how we've been playing it recently.
Okay.
And our Axis is also very, very strong, but most teams generally, I would say, is allied favoured. It's tough, right? And if your Method's starting on Axis, they probably picked Axis thinking it was the better side. But if you got an attack like Demise House, where they've got very good nades, they've got very good smokes, and you can see they're very well organised, pushing through one at a time, covering the angles, clearing the corners, the Sky is going to get collapsed on, and he's vertinated, and that's done the job.
Oh, that is harsh. Adamello just ruins that push completely. You can have all the good nades, the good smokes in the world. You can push together, but unfortunately, if a nade lands in between 3 of you, it's not going to do all too much for you.
That's the risk, man. Some teams, they like to play B defensively. They'll sit back, they'll wait for the plant, they'll nade, they'll wait for the plant, nade, and play this like cat and mouse game with the planter and trying to nade him. But if you've got some guy sat in fantasy, you can delay for another 20, 30 seconds, and if he's got a nade himself, he knows when to throw that nade into hole, and that's the best timing you can get.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really well executed by Method there. The question is, are Demise still going to go towards that B-bomb side? Now they have a little bit of info on how they're playing it, right? They're kind of holding the same positions there on the Method side. We know there's a player over towards Fantasy the last 2 rounds. Maybe now they're going to drop an nade towards there and start to try to counter-strat him?
Well, it's a very, very light round from Demise in terms of economy. They've got 2 grease guns. You never want to see that, especially with 2 carbines. I think they're just going to try and push out, get as many kills as they can, but when the Axis have got heavy control, it's extremely difficult, especially if you don't have the guns to take the fight. They're going to try and probably send Samuel G up to try and take heavy control and timing push the guy. But with the second person there, it's going to be almost impossible. Unless Adamila gets tapped by one of the carbines, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to take the site without a smoke. Although they have 1 smoke that they've just popped down. They could probably cross take heaven, but now, as you see, okay, we can't take B. Screw it, let's go back, go around A, go down tunnel, and Method are going to read this easily.
Sam's still going to be lurking there towards the bottom, top of Cinema, rather. He spotted out 1 player. I think you should probably know those 2 now. The spam's coming through. But
yeah, Method probably shouldn't be falling for this. Yeah. There's 1 guy. They have 3 guys on short. If there's no more noise on short, it's got to be an A. There's no other explanation. It's just 1 guy trying to delay 2 people. Maybe they know there's 2 players there. That's why they're going to sacrifice him for this. And now he's going to call, right, they're rotating A. He's going to wait for this other guy. And it's just not worked out for him, has it? No,
because Rebirth went up behind him, taking him down. A decent enough read that he might still be over towards Cinema. I mean, Demise getting the bomb plant down. Look, the round's already paid for itself, right?
Yeah, if you get the bomb down, you get an extra token, probably on some sort of loss bonus as well. But there's still a chance. Like, these eco guns, you know, they're not the strongest of guns, but if you get a couple of headshots at close range, you can make the difference.
And look, every kill as well now. Literally every kill matters because you get that token delivered straight to you. And I feel like that's kind of made, over on the Axis side, things a lot easier with nades, with those early round nades. If you manage to throw one and lob 1, maybe 2 kills, the nade can almost subsidize or indeed just completely pay for itself. Like 1 token to pick up, if you only pick up 1 kill with the nade, you're only really spending 1 token, and to give your team a 1-man advantage early on like that is definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's a very positive change. You see it a lot on this map now. Demise, they've got 3 nades, probably going to be 2 into marble, 1 onto site. And even if you're on the allied side on this map and the Axis are heavy nading the street, if you lose 2 people, you know, it's not great. In the old patch, you could pick up the tokens, and the next round you've got a better, you know, economy for yourself because you can get a nade out of that if you lose 2 people to a nade. Whereas now it's favouring more the Axis side in terms of if you get a double nade kill, you've got 2 tokens, the nade's paid for itself. And on this map, you see a lot of nade kills. Yeah. Especially on that B site.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen that triple come in for Adamello where he invested into a nade and gained a token, plus a 3-man advantage for his team. It's certainly a worthwhile investment. They're not checking Dins pushing in there, eventually turn around. That could have gotten a little bit awkward. Now he's kind of stuck, has to waste the smoke to try and get out of there alive. Trying to bait them into pushing into him, I think. Taking out the steps as he runs back through the smoke, but it's a patient play coming in from Method. Good map control. I mean, Demise very split up here. Obviously going towards that A bomb site, and those 2 opening kills are really going to help them out, as they have still got 2 smokes in play to smoke off the church, get the bomb down. And at that stage of 4v3, it's going to be difficult for Method to win out. The tops should be dropping there as well.
Lucky that is. He read that well.
Is this time to go for a save at this point?
Yeah, this way needs to be calling a save. You got an SMG, you got an MP44, 2 smokes are up, you don't have any utility yourself, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose a round. If you want to be a hero and try it, sure, but if your economy's not great, as you can see, they've only got 3 tokens on their entire team. Save the guns, get 3 ecos next round, get 3 guers, or maybe get a couple of nades. You know, you can do something with it. You can send the guns to one side, the other guy's pushing a different way. But just running in here and trying to take a 4v2 on that site when it's planted it's almost impossible, because that site is, there's so many angles that you need to check, so many angles you need to cover. It's very, very difficult to retake that without the number advantage.
And you got to remember as well, they're on their loss bonus has just been reset after winning out the previous round, so or 2 rounds in a row, I think. So at that point as well, you're only going to have 1 token on every player coming into the round, by the 2 saving them over. So having that STG and MP40 could really help them out, able to donate over a couple, even grab a nade themselves. And 3 Gevaers, 2 nades.
Yeah, you know, that's more than winnable. The thing I always tell my team is that, you know, our economy could be screwed, but if we got 5 Guers, it takes 5 shots to win the round, you know? Exactly. The gun is very, very strong. It's much stronger than the carbine, in my opinion. It feels a lot easier to work with.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
The tokens that Method have, they could easily split another STG if they want it, or they could get some nades, but it seems like they're just going for a save. A very, very cheap buy, and let's see what they do. What's
kind of interesting coming in from Demise, we have got a pause coming in. Presumably that's going to be a Method tack, maybe. No explanation on that, but what's interesting is you do see Dins and Samuel haven't bought a nade. They're keeping up. Like last round, I think Samuel had 8 tokens in reserve as they went into it. They're buying Niels, Strove, and Blues take a nade and a smoke each, while Samuel and Dins just have a smoke. Well, what's the logic behind that? Surely you'd want to invest into the full nades, no? When you've got the economy, or are they saving over those tokens to donate in when that economy gets a little bit low?
I think they're being smart, and they've realised that, you know, on this map, on attack, if we're going to do a B heavy, we don't need 5 nades. We only need 3 nades. 3 nades is enough to get the guys in hole, try and get the control and stop the Axis getting to cinema. And it's smart in the sense that, you know, some teams, if they're winning rounds, they'll, every single round, okay, I died, I'll buy an SMG, I'll buy a nade, I'll buy a smoke, 6 tokens gone. And then if you're in that mindset, as soon as you lose a round, you need to eco 3 rounds in a row because you've got no money. But seeing Demise making sure they're playing the economy smart in the sense that if we don't need 5 nades, don't get 5 nades. If we don't need 5 smokes, don't get 5 smokes. Yeah. Whereas now it seems they've gone for 4 nades and 5 smokes. This is probably going to be a very heavy B round.
Sam going down there early on. Just through a smoke, I believe. It's not ideal, losing a player like that. It's almost a nade kill just with a Gevaer. As Adamello takes down Dins as well. Like, that cinema control has been seized by the Axis. At this point, you kind of got to back off and regroup, right? Like, that cinema control is firmly under the Axis control.
This is generally a situation where they'll probably loop around and try and get back to A. But if you're on Allied side and you've got 4 or 5 nades, if you're not throwing them fast, you can't expect to win cinema that easily. If you're investing that much money, you need to use it. You can't go slow, sit outside cinema, try and nade on the site, because if you're slow to cinema, they've got cinema. It's very, very difficult to take B after that.
It looks like they're still going to be attempting that B take, though. That could get a little bit risky. They did send Niels down mid to try and clear out, maybe find an opening kill there like he did before. Not able to do so. And they've been spotted out outside B, at least one of them. Toxtrip backing off. We did see Demise faking this out before, right? They left one person behind to try and keep those B players. Maybe Method are going to get that kind of sense, but with 3 players alive, it's unlikely that that's what they're going to be trying to pull. You don't want to send 2 players to take that A bomb site all by themselves, simply to delay a rotation by 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think maybe the right move here might possibly be a save because the amount of utility they have. And you can't get away with planting on the ticket side if you don't have control. They've just lost like 6 or 7 tokens worth of utility and guns. And they've got more than enough to buy into the next round. If they just back off there and save with 20 seconds left, you know, they can then buy the next 2-3 rounds. But now they're going to bust a lot of their economy on this round. With some nades, some smokes, a couple of SMGs, maybe if Sam gets an SMG to go B. They're probably going to try and force B again. But it feels like they're struggling a lot to take Cinema because the nades just aren't working. And the timing is just off. Yeah,
as well as that, they tried to get that plant in with 5 players still alive on that side. Not only did they not find cinema control, but they know it's still going to be at least 2 players on that bomb site, and really unlikely with just 1 smoke down you're going to be able to get that bomb planted. Oh, never mind.
It's very common for people too in that situation. Right? If you've lost cinema and you can get B, smoke the bomb, plant 4 ticket, and try and push through and take that because then you can kill the diffuser.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, if you don't have control of the other side, you're just going to get shot through smoke because people know that's happening. If the guy at top cinema can't see the plant, he knows it's on the other side, and it's a really, really easy kill all day on the Axis side, even if it's smoked.
Again, they're going to be saving over some utility as well. You see Blues with that nade laid on, but they're not going towards B instead, pushing into that A bomb site. Very careful of Canala over towards the white box on the left side of the alley. Oh, that's a nice nade coming in from though. Oh, he doesn't come quite around the corner in time. That's a little bit unlucky. 3v2, I mean, it's a winnable situation with that smoke down, allowing the bomb to go in. Now, Demise can step onto the back foot, onto the defensive side of things, and Method having to push into them and clear all those angles, maybe they'll be able to work together and find an open and pick. And
yeah, generally in a situation, you'll see some sort of crossfire setup where if one person's getting pushed, the other can help. Or like Demise is doing now, you have one person holding some sort of off angle, trying to cover himself with the other guy doing some sort of flank that's going to be seen as unexpected. But you can see Rebuff's waiting for this push. I imagine they're going to be ready for the other as well, especially if he's making noise.
Blues picking up that kill is really important though because they're focused over towards him. Strove takes down the bomb planter, and now it's only going to be Toxture. This is a bit of a sloppy retake going in there. It all comes down to one-for-one battles and sticking the bomb plant. There's nothing Toxture can do. That bomb is going to explode. He tries to pick up an exit kill. Not able to do it with the MP40, and that's going to be the end of the round. And MP40 saved over from Method as Demise finally win out a round, and their economy is looking really good. They've been managing this really well. A lot of teams do invest into the full utility every single round, regardless of the reward they're getting out of it. But Demise not quite going for those 5 nades, 5 smokes, best weapons they can afford all the time. They're keeping those tokens in reserve, and that's good to see early on in the game.
Yeah, they're focusing on the utility, focusing on making sure their economy is good, not overspending where they don't need to. If they've got 3 nades, 4 nades, generally they're throwing them fast. They're using them for a reason, which is, get someone into B, try and get control of B, try and get control of cinema, and then work around from there. And I can imagine soon, if Method are struggling to take cinema more and more frequently, they'll probably start playing retake, which is just sitting behind the site, nading one after another, and letting them have it. Because if you're playing against a good team with a good setup and a good approach, it's very, very difficult to take B on defense.
Yeah, they really are struggling here without those opening triple nade kills. And their utility is being used up very early round as well over on the Method side. Like right now, as the site's been taken, they have literally no grenades left and now that bomb plant. Trying to spam through. You can see Demise are actually faking the bomb plant to try and bait out the nades that Method have already used. So I guess a sort of mind game where they are still delaying the bomb plant without nades. Just the fear of nades is enough. That's a nice position. Gone 40, but not able to pick up the kill at this point again. I mean, Canaler has got a Gewehr. He can go for it. I mean, he's got a kill. It's already paid off. He might as well try to get a little bit more. But it's a bit risky for Toxture to go for this STG and an MP40 in play. He's stacked for the next round, while their economy isn't going to be looking all too good on the rest of the team. So he could really do with saving that over and donating to his teammates, unless they're confident that they can get this retake done.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because these situations are definitely winnable, especially when you got the guns. But at the same time, if you've got 7 tokens worth of weapons, is it really worth trying to do something like that? Because now also the allies, if you've got a carbine, you can pick up the SCG, and then you're stacked as a weapon. You don't need to spend anything on upgrading that weapon.
Yeah.
And I think soon we'll probably start seeing Method either sending someone aggressive A, which I think they should be doing by now. If Demise have committed to B every single round, when they haven't got cinema, they rotate to A. The A guy can be there to chop them off and delay them, so they can rebalance their defense. But I think probably soon we'll start seeing Method playing a very, very defensive retake on B. And I'd like to see them start getting someone aggressive on A side.
And again, the nade's going out early on. Toxia still has got a grenade in hand. Maybe going to keep that for a little bit later on in the round. They've kind of been suffering on that part throughout the last couple of takes on that B bomb side. But again, they are still going to be going aggressive on B. They take that cinema control though, forcing Samuel back. Adamello finds a kill onto Dins. And that things are looking good, but they haven't got that one player in cinema. Passive hold on the bomb site towards the top of stairs, but Samuel's not able to slip his way out. And that puts them in a kind of difficult position on the Demise side. They haven't got the cinema control. They're thinking about going aggressive on short. They're already at a man disadvantage. So they got to be a little bit careful. If this extends any further, it's going to be risky. Oh, you can actually see Blues is going to be coming up around the A bomb site. He's trying to sneak out there as they make those distractions go down on B. And it looks like he's... Oh, no, he's been spotted. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a typical play. The Axis always wary of it. If they know that they're lurking around hole and back cinema, there's always a guy, or generally there's always a guy that's lurking around A side trying to make some noise to pull the B guys off. So you can either take B or you can push through behind B and cut them off. And what you'd hope for... what you'd hope to happen there is have the A guy pick up a kill on their Axis player on A, and then have the guy at cinema push in and kill the guys who's moving off, so you can still take B.
Yep.
And then the Axis are very confused in the sense of, are they going A, are they going B? I need to watch my back, I also need to stop the plant. And then it gets very, very difficult to defend. But I think Demise looking very, very strong. And Method should probably look at saving some nades, maybe not investing so much into SMGs, because Adamilo's the only guy fragging on B, and he's doing that with the Gwer. So they can always play a retake with nades and leave that guy pushing in cinema, get in heaven, and play a retake when he's calling where they are on site. Whether that's white box, whether that's hole, whether that's on-site planting. It looks like that should be what they're doing.
Well, this is a very fast push from Demise. Adamello again going to be picking up kills. He's got the Thompson in reserve, and that's a very quick round swept up. Birdie only has to do one hit to take down Samuel, as Rebirth had lit him very low alongside Adamello. 6-5, a quick round for Demise. They just want to get that out of the way. Now they've got the economy to invest. They're going to have their grenades in hand and look to forget the previous round.
Yeah, I think Demise seem pretty linear on this map. It's always 2 or 3 Thompsons or 2 or 3 carbines, and Thompson's trying to take cinema control, which is you could consider questionable because the fight from bottom cinema to top cinema up the stairs with a Gwer, you've probably got an advantage there at that range. Normally you'll see teams on allies pushing in with a Garand or a bar, not a bar, but generally a Garand, or trying to take heaven control with an SMG up close and just sitting there so you've got that angle, and then some guy sat there with a Gwer or a rifle just peeking out of heaven, watching short, calling for when someone needs to throw the nades over. But Demise, they seem to be doing the same thing almost every round. If they're struggling to get B, they're going to go back to A, and Method are reading it perfectly.
This time they haven't really sold anything towards B. There's no information on the Method side. Well, there wasn't, at least, as they've already spotted a lot of players coming A. Ronaldo and Rebirth finding kills. That's one on B. They now know that to be clear, so they can start coming up behind on the A bomb side. But it's already oh, that's a nice nade. That forces the bomb off. And that delays time perfectly, allowing Adamello to come up behind in second mid. Now as the bomb goes down, they've got to worry about a lot of angles. You've got Nielsen Strove to hold down here. They're looking for more nades. They're looking for spams coming through. And with 35 seconds left now, that Method retake really closing in on them. Adamello finding that kill pretty much secures the round. Strove's not going to be able to get the bomb plant. He has to find the 3 kills here. The players playing very reserved, playing for information. They've got that info, a little bit of damage on the Strove, and he's not even able to pick up the kill. And even if he did, Rebirth was coming up behind to finish him off. He was already 50 HP, so 7-5. That's another round picked up for the Axis here of Method. And Demise struggling on the Allied side, which you were saying, Mark, is the side that you feel is kind of favoured based on your experiences across playing this map.
Yeah, like when you're taking church there, if you don't plant when the first smokes are down, like that nade came 2 seconds after he started planting, he could have got away. And if you don't plant when the first smokes go down, it's almost impossible to plant if you've got 3 guys sat in church because you can't cover all the angles. And if you have one guy holding... If you've got one guy holding Grave and one guy holding L, you can have someone just walk straight through main and kill the guys holding either side.
Yeah.
And it's very, very difficult. If you don't plant when the smokes are down, you just can't do it. You need to push and get the frags and make some space.
I'm not too sure who this pause coming in is for. I'd imagine Demise to try and figure out what their investment is going to be, especially because they haven't bought up just yet. Attempting to figure out what they want to prioritize here, whether it's going to be nades, carbines, or if they just want to go for a little bit of an eco so they can get better money. I mean, we did see Adamello go for, or not Adamello, I think it was Dins going for a peak on Top Cinema with an M1 Garand. He got instantly shut down from there, but that was the one round that they didn't go towards it with SMGs, and unfortunately he got literally instantly killed. I think it was a headshot coming through from a Gewehr, but maybe we want to see something like that coming out, like you pointed out, those SMGs going in there to try and take that control. It's not really working out for them because you have got the Gewehr on side of the STG that's going to be able to easily take them out at that range. They have the advantage on that range, and I would like to see another Gewehr attempt, even a carbine.
Yeah, I think Demise, traditionally they're known for really good teamwork and like being quite innovative, but I think what they need to do here is just go back to the basics and get the nades into Marble, because if they're sending someone top cinema, he's getting killed from the guy that's crossing in from the Marble side. If you've got nades blowing up around Marble as you're taking that peak, you've got the advantage because the guy's going to be tagged, he's going to be moving. You need to give the guy the space to get the frag. And you can't just send an SMG in top cinema on and expect him to win it every time if you're not getting those nades in. And they need to be chaining those nades one at a time to stop them getting into cinema, because if the Axis can get into cinema uncontested, which they seem to be doing really, really easily, the map becomes 5 times easier as an Axis team. If you can't get cinema control, then it becomes 5 times easier as the Allied team to start winning the rounds.
But they've got the cinema control this time, at least to start off. Reaper's getting a little bit aggressive with the Thompson in hand. He's not going in all the way just yet. He knows they're still going to be watching it, probably waiting for them to get a little bit aggressive on him and close in the distance. Or indeed for them to go for the push out of the bomb site so he can come in on the heavy flank. They are going to be closing in on him towards that upper cinema angle. There he is, taking down Dins. Now his position known. He goes out for a further peek, confirms there's another player there. It's not just alert. They're just going to back off now. Survive in the corner, get his health regen up. And trading that back to a 4v4, not quite going to put Method in favor, but at least he has slowed them down towards that cinema control area. The problem is they're starting to, they've already started to go towards the A-bomb site. They're pretty much there. And due to Rebirth's information, we won't see a full rotation coming in because he knows there's another player towards the top of cinema. He doesn't know anything about the bottom. So he's about to find out.
Yeah, hate to see that. Yeah, this is classic, what Demise were doing earlier, right? They can't take B, they're leaving Sandwichi and Cinema, they're pushing A side, but Method have read it well. They got one guy in the back room at Church, they got one guy in Graveyard, they're waiting for this, they're ready for it. There's a gap at mid that Demise, maybe they should be exploiting and sending someone out to test the waters. But Method are reading this really well, and Demise I think are playing too linear.
Yeah, certainly the control of cinema is kind of being relinquished from them a lot, and the times that they do get it, they play that really slow game, allowing Method to kind of pick them off as they go, and when the pushes come out, they've either been outdone by nades, they're taking range battles against Gewehrs with SMGs, or they're just not able to get the bomb plants in. A lot of the time it does feel like they're rotating over towards that A bomb site in the back of not finding the opening kills on B, losing players there. And that's really badly affecting them. Nice double nades coming in there towards top of mid to open things up. A free kill found. Well, a 4 token kill found. But that's 8-5 with a one-man advantage for the Axis side. And Demise haven't been getting on well in the rounds where they can survive with all 5 into the first minute of the round.
Yeah, but if your goal for the round is to take B, if you don't get B fast, or you don't get the nade kills, or you don't get cinema, yeah, you struggle to take B a lot. So again, they're going to do this standard where they're going to go back to A tunnel, they're going to go back to A long, try and get the pick on A and try and plant in Church. But Method are going to see this coming. They've already got QWERTY set up on that boost that I think was intended to be removed in the last patch, but people can still do it. And you know, again, Method have read this perfectly because now Malik can stay down, he can stand up, get the picks on the headshot angle, and it's really hard to kill someone here.
Oh, that's nasty from Kanaler. Yeah, really hard to kill someone from that angle indeed, but not too hard to return kills. Oh, that was all good, but potentially he's going to see him. It's still a 1v4 though, not all too winnable of a situation. He's low HP as well, and there it is, finished off by Malik. I mean, that's a really hard battle to win out for Demise there. As they push out, Kanaler's just peeking up and down, head bobbing all over the place. They're not peeking it at once. He somehow has offered up like 3 1v1s despite the fact that they're all trying to push him.
It's a difficult angle, but generally when teams are a bit more coordinated, you have one guy at the tank, someone's going to peek that tunnel, So you get the guys focused on the tunnel, so he's standing up and he's focusing at the tunnel, and then the guy at the tank is the one that will try and take the shot and bait him out. But Demise obviously running out of time. They're looking a little bit rushed, a little bit hesitant. They're very indecisive.
Well, coming into this, the last round of the half. This is their last chance to get 6 rounds over. They've already found those opening nade kills we've said have been lacking on that bomb side. Now's their chance to push in there. Tox just low HP, finds one through the smoke somehow onto Nielsk. Presuming that smoke looked a little bit different to him, or was it just a crazy looking spam? Nade returned by Canaller, but Dins is the one that's taken out for it against Tox, leading into a 1v3. Canaller had a big play in the previous round on that 3K. He's already found 2, but he's got to find 2 more to win this out. The bomb plant being faked by Demise. And as they look to hunt down the kill, they've got to be careful about picking this 1 by 1. That's actually Blues that's aggressive. He's got the bomb. If Canaller finds this kill, now he knows he's up close in the back of that smoke. If he finds that kill, this is all over pretty much.
Yeah, I think Demise are massively overthinking this. You don't need to rotate there. You've got the sight, you've got the control. You can just get that fast mark down. And 9 times out of 10 there, if Nala's looking to the left, if he's aware of the rotate that he's heard, or he should have heard of the guy running back, he can pick up that frag and it's a 1v1 and it's winnable.
Especially with the bomb control.
Yeah, but if you're on the B bomb site and you're planting on the back, you can sit in a spot where you can cover the push if you know where he is, which they did. And I think, again, Demise just looking quite indecisive, which you wouldn't normally expect from them.
Yeah, well, especially with the 1 map advantage, you'd imagine that's kind of where you'd come in with a little bit of confidence. You wouldn't be playing that hesitant game. You'd just be coming in ready to roll, you know? It's a little bit weird that they're going so slow into this. They're now on the Axis side, taking out 3 Gevaers and 2 smokes early on. The smoke's already deployed, so leaves them just with those rifles. His Method claimed that early cinema control, but it is in contention over towards upper, where he's doing a little bit of damage. Rebirth returns it as he tries to exit the doorway, but Rebirth is a little player there, because Blues, of course, in position on the Gevaer. He could get a little bit aggressive and come up on the flank. This could be dangerous, but Method looking a lot more decisive with that cinema control. Birdie's got to find that kill, but leaving Blues up there, that's going to be a thorn in their side as they try to push out. They're going to have to deal with him first.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do as allies, especially on the eco round where you've got a lot of grease guns. It's not the best gun to take a fight with, but obviously it's working there for Rebirth because he's already tagged up. And Demise again, they seem quite non-committal. They've got heaven control, they can push out, they can take the site and they can own it. But instead they're sitting back and just trying to take the 1v1 trades, which Method shouldn't be giving them.
Oh, this is as well. With the bomb in hand, he gets dropped. They shouldn't know the bomb's there though. I think the wall just about blocks their sight. But only Toxture left. Bomb control might not even matter as they've just spotted him out crossing, I believe. At least they should have. With no nades left to deny this bomb point, they're going to be able to push out there as he... It's a weird angle to try it from. Gets the bomb plant, but that's all he can really hope for. At least he's getting 1 token for everybody in his team, but the downside of that is he's given over 1 token.
Bomb defused.
Yeah, getting the bomb down there, that's good. On the eco round, it's good for the economy. You know, you don't need to try and win every single round. Sometimes it's about just making sure that you're doing something for the team there. He knows he can't plant, or he knows he can plant, but he knows he can't win the round 9 times out of 10 because they're going to push 2 different angles and he can't fight that. If he gets the bomb down, everyone gets a token, and going into the next round, they got a better chance of getting some more nades and trying to take that B site if that's what they want to do, which it seems like they are because they spent most of their money.
This is something I talked to Fi about in an interview I did with him, how the team that wins the first round, a lot of the time, and indeed for myself and Dean, in the matches that we've cast, the majority of the time, they've ended up actually losing the second. Has that been an experience that you've felt while you guys are playing, obviously playing on Team Endpoint, have you guys felt that maybe the second round is still quite difficult to win out despite a victory in the first? Yeah,
it's difficult because generally when people play eco rounds, they're stacked as a ball as 5. You know, the grease gun or the MP28 on its own is not the strongest gun, but when you've got 3 or 4 people, it takes 1 tag each and you're dead. And you know, you lose 2 people that are trying to hold A or B, whatever map it is, then the Axis or the Allies, whoever's on eco round, they get 2 guns, and they've got 2 full guns, and 3 of those MP28s or the grease guns, which can still do damage. And if you stay as a pack with those 3, and the other 2 go back and try and cover the other side, it's very, very common to lose the second round because it's, you know, people aren't, I don't think people have fully understood how to play those rounds yet.
Yeah.
On the side that wins the first round, because when you win the first round also, you don't really get a lot more money than the other team does, so it's still, you can still buy into it with the carbines, you can still buy into it with the Guers, which are also very, very strong, And if you don't have Garans, if you don't have snipers, if you don't have Kar 98Ks, it's still very easy to win those duels with the Guer versus the Carbine. So it's still more individual based rather than team, depending on the approach you take.
Yeah, and do you think as well, sort of when you're coming into things, you don't know if the other team will have that fully got, like you mentioned, all the grease guns or MP28s. You don't know if they're going to have Gewehr's. You don't know even. We noticed in one of the games, teams actually focused on utility over on Manor House and actually they lost the Axis side opening round, so they bought up 2 nades, lobbed them over towards the double doors, and they just weren't looking for nades in the second round, right? You think they're going to have MP28s, they're going to, so they run out, nades come down, it was a double kill straight away. I think that was... that
was probably us getting out.
I think it was Sin through the nade.
Yeah, it's
it's
difficult. It's always a call for the IGL to make of, what do we expect the other team to do and what do they expect us to do, and trying to play around that in the sense that, okay, we've lost the first round, they're not going to expect us to, throw 2 nades, throw 3 nades. Give it a go and see if it works. If it doesn't work, you set yourself back another 2 rounds, but if it works perfectly and you get 2 or 3 kills and it pays for itself, and 9 times out of 10 you win the round.
Yeah. Well, this is... Oh, that's awkward for Dins. Oh no, he's got a teammate. Never mind. Blues is there beside him. I didn't see on the mini-map they were so close together. A nice kill between the 2 of them. Each. 2 falling. Adamello almost manages to take that Sandwich. He's slowly walking into Cinema, but he's eventually going to be taken down. Canala finds a kill, but he's on the wrong bomb site. Bombs down in upper Cinema. He's got a Gewehr in hand, reloading it as he runs through. He's not even going to check this left side. That's the end of the round. 9-9, we're tied up. Demise coming back into it on the Axis side, who so far seems to be the prevailing side in this match anyways. Yeah,
that's a classic attack from Effort there, where they sent 4 into B. They got Nala lurking on A. Do they need to be trying to commit and taking Heaven there that fast when they got... If the goal for Alex or Nala is to go and push and get a kill on A, if he gets that kill on A, then the guys at Cinema are likely one of them is going to be falling back trying to rotate, thinking that actually they can feasibly rotate here. You just need to make sure that the timing's in sync. I think for Method, if Adamilo slows down with the amount of fragging he's doing, because he's been carrying this very, very hard on the Axis side, I think they're going to struggle here. I think he's close to 30 kills already, which is quite something after 18 rounds.
Yeah, he had a pretty phenomenal performance over there on the Axis side. On the B bomb side, it was consistently being held down just by him. The mines seem to be... They weren't really able to get that cinema control on the Allied side, which is interesting because their setup on the Axis is relatively similar to what we saw Method maintaining that control with the early upper cinema control coming up through the stairway, and then 1 player down towards the actual bomb site. So they're not really able to combat, but it's essentially their own hold. Except they do it with 2 players towards upper cinema. Yeah,
their attack here is mirroring Demise, where Demise leaves Samuel G and Cinema, but Method are leaving Quirty there to try and make as much noise as possible. Run around, jump, try and shoot someone, try and tag someone, maybe get a kill. But the goal here for them is to try and take Church and get into A. But Demise, I think, again, they're reading this quite nicely. I think Strobe's going to be a little bit gutted. He doesn't have more support quicker, but Method seems to be leaving this a little bit too long.
Clear read from the Axis as they already have 3 players on that bomb site. Strobe's able to find one, but he's been pushed down on by Rebirth. They don't know Nielska's going to be in this position, though, and a good double spray down comes in. Samuel's there taking down Rebirth, and it's all on QWERTY. He was over towards the B bomb site, now slowly making his way in through middle, but it's being watched, and it shouldn't be all too easy for him to pick this up. Oh, but he does find one on the Blues. So it's a 1v3, but I didn't even notice the time.
I think the Axis need to push him here and get him down so they can... Oh, you hate to see that for Dins. Yeah, if you kill him there, he's not going to win anything. He's not going to get extra tokens, and he's just going to be stuck on a grease gun and very, very little money. Quite fortunate there. Quite unfortunate for Dins. Probably should have been picking up that kill. He's probably going to be kicking himself that he didn't. But again, nice play from Nils, pushing through, getting the right timing. And again, it goes back to, if you've got a goal of taking a site, you need to commit and you need to stick to it. You can't sit there checking every angle and wait until 10, 15 seconds left, because you just run out of time. If you don't plant first time, you lose the round.
Yeah, and indeed, if they manage to drop that bomb planter as well, then you're left in a really awkward position where you just have to run in, plant that, and they can go for knives, they can go for spams. You're pretty screwed at that stage if they do anything to hassle that bomb plant.
It's just a case of making a YOLO play and hoping it works, which sometimes it does, but majority of times it fails miserably and you lose the round.
You don't want to be relying on it as your default setup. Just go for that. Right now, Method clearly looking to take that B control, maybe over. Not allowing any kills, but Things was taken down very low in the process. Nilska's in a nice position lying down though, doing the Mark Holmer strat, lying down where he's barely visible and taking the kill.
The classic.
Oh, that's a little bit awkward. STG is left as his body literally disappears in shame. 4 versus 3. The retake gonna have to be real for Demise. The utility not really in play. They've only got a smoke, so maybe smoke the bottom of the cylinder. Oh, but that's awkward. Birdie is lying down below the view model of Strove. Samuel's just going in to take that bomb planter down. He manages it after the bomb's gone down, though. That's not going to be all too much use for Blues, who's only going to give air. I could see him going for it. I mean, if he finds 1 kill, it's already paid off, but he wants to go for that save.
Yeah, I think he should be saving, and I also think Samuel G should be saving there. Running through the smoke, 2v3, they're not going to leave the guy unattended. Even if you kill the planter there and it's 2v4, sorry, what do you achieve? You die, you lose the Thompson, you've got to buy again next round. The Allies still win the round, and you've basically just given a Thompson back to the Allied side.
Yeah, that's the thing, I guess. Maybe if it was Blues pushing through that smoke with the Gaffair, okay, you've given over a rifle that they pretty much have. That's generally a favored weapon over the carbine, I think, is the general feel of the community, but you know, it's not too much of an advantage, really. But yeah, with the Tommy, definitely 3 tokens on. There's no reason to go for that. It's a weapon that you can't even buy yourself, but
yeah, it's saving the Allies 3 tokens. It's possibly costing you 3 tokens because the next round, you know, even if your team's on eco, you can go in SMG, you can go push A, you can go get in cinema yourself and do some damage, get 2 or 3 kills while your team does some sort of eco strat elsewhere. But if you're just giving up the gun for no reason, I don't know, it just seems, again, very indecisive from Demise. They're not very coordinated, which is, it's not like them. Traditionally, when we see them play, they're very coordinated, they're very decisive, they're very in sync with each other in terms of who's doing what and who's doing what when, which is the most important thing. But so far, this map, we haven't seen that. It's just been Adamilo having fun with them.
It's a fun way to describe the map, but it sure has been. I mean, didn't quite catch how many kills he's on, but he's certainly rocking high, making an impact in almost every round that they're coming out on top in. With 10 on the Allied side right now, they're certainly, if it is going to be an Allied-sided affair, they're in a great position tied up, and Demise not really having a whole lot of luck in this round with economy on the 2 Gewehr's they've currently got left with 2 MP28s, or popcorn rifles as I call them. They have gained a 1-man advantage at least, and with Niels picking that one up as well, the Gewehr's are doing some serious work. Although Toxia does return it, they're still on the back foot, 1-man disadvantage, 50 seconds on the clock at least, that's going to play well for them, and the A side's completely open, and we see them making their way towards that. Yeah,
this is again a classic play where it's a race, who gets the way first. You know, they know that they've got eco guns, they know they're lightly bought, they know that it's going to be very, very easy for them to get to A if they can, and make it in time which they can, and you know, sandwiches there with the MP28 against the Thompson. Very unlikely that you're going to win that fight, and this now looks like an easy round for Method, where Demise were probably thinking they had the round when they had 3 stacked on B. But if you've got 30 seconds left, you've always got to be wary that there is time for someone to make that push. I think normally what you should be doing is having some guy going mid and just spotting that angle. Not necessarily taking the fight, not challenging, but if you can spot the angle and delay, then you know, you can read it, you can play off it, and you can keep the angle, make sure they're not going back and send the other 2 guys straight away and take the fight before they get onto the site and plant, because then it becomes a lot harder.
Oh, you're talking about Adamello just playing with them, and he's going to find that double to close it out. Thompson in hand, you can hear they're very happy with that victory on the Method side. A 3rd map's going to be very possible indeed, with Method now taking the lead. Adamello has certainly been the star of this round. You see the replay there, jumping around. I think they went for the knife kill and got punished pretty heavily for it.
That's unlucky for them, but I think Demise now, 3 nades. I think I'd like to see them start sort of trying to look towards more of a retake style on B, because you know, they're getting heaven control, but they're not winning the rounds with it. And if you're not winning the rounds with heaven control, you need to do something different, because the whole idea of taking the heaven control is you win the round when they come B. Method have just gone B quite hard, and they've let them rotate with 20 seconds left, 20, 30 seconds left, which you really shouldn't be doing here. But they've used all their nades and they've got nothing with it.
I mean, on the upside, they did get cinema control for a second. Dins has seen some pushback in, and they've dropped Strove in the process, though. So at least that's one upside for Method right now. Demise on very passive cinema control. They're going to look to retake that, but players pushing in from Strove are going to be able to cause some havoc there onto Blues, who's already going to be low HP there, and peeks up over, but it's a death sentence. Still that man advantage for the Allies, but they haven't got the bomb. That's the only thing working against them right now, is Dins has got that upper cinema control. He's looking to take some lives with that STG, the long-range weapon. Only really going to be competable with Kanaler and Adamello, as they've got empty carbines.
Has he seen the bomb there? It's quite glaringly obvious, but there we go. The A guy's rotating over. He's coming to get his stairs. What they need to be doing here is having him holding these two angles, get that guy in allied spawn, watch his back on cinema stairs so he doesn't have to worry about that, and all he's got to worry about is his right. And he can just keep jiggle peeking and take the fight, but that's... Sometimes it happens, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Sandwich knows where the bomb is. I'm not sure they're going to expect him here so soon. It's just unfortunate he doesn't have a nade for the bomb, because then he wins the round easily. But if he can stop the plant and get away, which he might actually be able to do here, I think Method are going to be a little bit frustrated. Oh, he's done it.
That is filthy. 2 players left alive. And you know what the thing is as well? They used their smoke on lower cinema just before that, as they made their way up the stairs to cross. They could have just jumped across, risked maybe getting tapped in the feet by the STG, and then used the smoke there to actually get the bomb planted, which possibly could have been better for the round. And now in 11-11, Demise, they're going to be so happy winning that round, right? I mean, what a dirty way to win out a round.
That's a big morale boost for them, and for Method as well. It's very, very frustrating when stuff like that happens to you, because you know you've done the round perfectly. You've done what your goal was for the round. You've executed well. You've got the site. You've got the kills. You then work the pick. You then get the bomb, and to lose a round in that fashion is just... It's a little bit sloppy in the sense that you can have one guy covering a couple of angles and making sure that someone's not in cinema. Unlikely that they read that. Maybe Sandwich's the A player and they thought, right, he's the A guy. He's not going to be here in time because we've only just got the kill and we've only just got the bomb back. But I think, again, Method, that's a little bit sloppy there.
Yeah, well, they should have the read because the bomb was spotted in cinema, right? They knew Dins had control there. So the A guy's hardly still going to be sitting in church praying that they come to him.
Yeah, knowing that he's seen the bomb, knowing that he's got the kill. You can't account for everything, but in situations like that, they really should be a little bit wiser and should be a little bit sharper on the decision making. Plant for ticket, smoke off hole, then you've only got to watch marble and one guy watch forward, and that's everything covered. And you can't get the plant a shot from there. But probably mid-round, someone might have made the call saying Sandwich's on A, or I saw him earlier, and they might be playing off information that we're not sure of what that might be.
There's some nice returns coming in from Quirty and Kanaler. Niels could have picked up that kill. Things would look a lot better. He's going to be dropped now. It's only Blues left to make this retake, and it's going to be difficult for him to actually make this happen. Gevair, though, he's got the right angle. Oh, if he didn't land that kill, it was almost certainly over. Not able to retreat over to his teammate. Tox should have claimed that crossfire. And Blues looking for the 4K to win it out. No, Tox just walking up behind him. Tragic.
It's always cat and mouse in the 1v1s there. You sit, you wait for an angle, you wait for someone to push you. It's 50-50. He comes that way or he comes behind you. You can't win them all. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, so unlucky, though, with Blues picking up a 3K. He was only 1 away from that 4th. We saw actually a similar situation unfolded for you guys over on Manor House, where Sind picked up the 1v4. Started out in the B barn. And he just, every time he was looking at the right angle, it was like he had 2 choices. He picked one and it was right every time. And down to the last kill, where he had literally no information, he decided to hold over towards the log fence.
Yeah, the fence.
And it was just perfect. Like. So
you win some, you lose some. And again, exactly. From the other team's perspective, if it's a 1vx, like they need to be communicating, they need to be holding angles together. You can't just go one at a time and expect it to work, because the win rate there isn't as high as it should be unless you're coordinated and you're working together and you're chopping the angles and making sure no one can get backstabbed.
For sure. Yeah, it's just coming out of 4 separate angels. I mean, hey, in a game like CS, sure, why not? Yeah, if you can deal at least 26 damage to him, he's going to die before he can kill all for you.
Exactly.
But problem is, here in Battalion, as long as there's 50 seconds on the clock, he can take those 1v1s, regen his health, and go again. And if you keep letting him just reload like that, that's a big problem. Oh, great play by Samuel, but he doesn't hit the shots. Patience game doesn't come into play. As he peeks around the tank, his head's going to disappear. To hold down. This can only take Samuel.
Yeah, this is the classic. Right, they're on eco, they've stacked B, we've got a couple of kills, they've got a kill. Let's just go back to A. We know they're going to have a lot less numbers. We've got guns, they don't have guns. Church is very, very easy to take when you're playing against an MP28 or a Goa, when there's just one person, especially when you've got Thompsons, Garans, and a couple of carbines to do. And again, Adamilo just hitting every single shot.
Yeah, he's really performing out of his mind right now.
I think he's method saving grace on this map. Not sure what the score was last map or who was playing well, but definitely on this map, he seems to be every single round. He's getting the entry, he's getting a couple of picks, or if it's a mid round, he's the one. He's making the action happen. He's getting the kill. Whether that's Demise over peaking or him being aggressive, that's neither here nor there. But they need to find a way to shut him down because he's just having too much fun with this.
Din's having a lot of fun as he peeks into 2 players. He's dropped by Rebirth. Oh god, come on Rebirth.
Every round.
PG, man. Keep it PG. That's 13 to 11. Method evidently quite happy with how things are going for them right now.
Yeah, it's working for them. They've got good economy system. They got a lot of money in the bank. You know, they can do a couple of rushes if they want to. They can get a lot of utility out if they want to. And I think this is another tactical timeout from Demise trying to work out how they hold this. And I'm surprised, to be honest, that Demise haven't already settled for a retake B where you have a couple of guys at the back holding the pushes, you have 3 or 4 nades, and you just run the clock down, maybe send one guy in fast, chop the cinema, wait for them to push heaven, wait for them to try and get heaven control, run the clock down as much as possible, and then just one at a time, throw the nades over and see how it goes. And hope that they run out of time and you can get the nade kills, but it doesn't always work like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, you win some, you lose some.
This is how it is, 50-50 all the time.
Yeah. Right now for Demise, it's you lose some a little bit too often because, I mean, Method needs 3 rounds right now. They've been looking pretty dominant, especially Anamello.
Yeah,
he's the scoreboard up for a second.
He's having a blinder. He's on 30 kills already. There's a number of rounds to go, and Demise, I think they just need to start being a bit more passive. You know, stop trying to challenge heaven. If you can't get heaven control and get the kills, let them have it. Let them spend 30 seconds trying to get that control, and then use those nades and use the retake nades or nade different spots on site and push in at the same time. There's a number of ways to do it, and I'm surprised, to be honest, that Demise haven't been doing that so far because they're the kind of team that would be very, very strong at that. And they've just thrown 3 nades down mid fast, 2 smokes on B, and they've got nothing for it. And if you're throwing the fast nades, you're not getting tags, you're not getting kills, don't keep doing it. If it's not going to work, don't waste the utility because that's what 8 tokens, 6-8 tokens that they've lost. And they've gained nothing for it.
Yeah, and that's been kind of a storyline for the Axis side, or indeed Allied side as well for Demise, with the utility often being dispensed with nothing really to come from it. Nice nade there, Bruce has to go aggressive. Bites his time, but they're still waiting for it, and it's Adamello opening things up again. The Allies doing pretty well to return that frag that was found under Toxia early on with the nade from Samuel. It's down to Dins and Blues taken out. It's Niels Strove and Samuel to hold down.
Again, Demise very, very, very heavy on this B defense. You know, they've got 3 or 4 players committed towards B. I think maybe they should be starting to focus towards A a bit more when they read this.
Strove is peaking. He's very low on HP. Bomb plant, not quite able to do so. And once he's on full, he has to go in for this retake. It's going to be difficult to do. 40 seconds on the clock. He knows as a player. He knows where both players are. With the player being able to move to the left bomb site now. Oh, yes, that's a nice kill. A second as well. He needed to find that one on a QWERTY, really. I don't think they should have went aggressive, though, after getting that bomb plant down. They should have allowed him to make his way onto the bomb site. Sure, if he's a little bit of utility, it could get dangerous with the smoke going down, but you know roughly where that bomb is planted. You can spam through, especially with an STG in play, and that's not a round that
they've got control. It's a 2v1. That's an overpeak from QWERTY. That's a mistake on his part that's costing the round. You don't need to be peeking that. Hold an angle, watch the push on your mate. He can watch your push, and as soon as one of you gets contact, then you peek out and take the fight together as a team, as opposed to one person peeking, getting headshot, which is a good shot from Dins, I think it was. And then that second kill, he just gave it to him. Standing in the open there when the guy's jumping behind the bomb with cover, it's very unlikely that you're going to win that fight. And I think for Method, that's going to be very demotivating. And Demise now, a couple of smokes, couple of nades. They're going to be very, very hyped after that.
Oh, the nades now coming in for Demise all of a sudden just hurt us, as they've started to dispense them effectively. Opening 2 kills with Toxia low. Rebirth is getting aggressive. Nobody's checking him, though. That's a little bit risky. Perhaps they thought he'd take a little bit longer to make his way in there, but not able to connect the kill. He's been a little bit hesitant to push out. He probably knows some of his teammates are going to be watching that angle right now. Waiting for the aggression to come in from Dins, and lights him down low again, but once more just doesn't want to go aggressive. Not even sure if there's anybody covering it. If he was to push out, I think Dins would be completely isolated. But he doesn't know that, of course.
It's just a game of patience. You know, Dins, he doesn't need to move. He doesn't need to give away the kill. He doesn't need to try and go for the kill. They've got the site. They've got control. and just wait for the timing, wait for something else to happen, and then go and make the frag if you need to, or wait for him to come out and just kill him there. Because you've got a good advantage, your teammates can help you. And again, Method seem to be stalling, They're trying to go B fast, they can't get in. Then rather than rotating back to A there, they try to force the issue, which a lot of teams do. They make that mistake of forcing the issue, no utility, no smokes, no nades, no control. And if you've got an SMG in top heaven, what are you going to do with it? If someone's watching your exit, you can't go anywhere. You've got to fall back, you come downstairs. And I think for Method there, maybe the right call, get the air rotate on the go, leave that guy there, make him sit there 15, 20 seconds, then push out, try and get the frag and make some noise. So the Axis have to have someone holding B just in case.
Yeah, they were really robbed of information there on the Demise side. There was not a whole lot they could really do with Dins stuck in the corner. And it also allowed Method to, if they wanted to, rotate around on short. I don't think they had any nades left at that point to drop a nade towards him. That could have been pretty useful. Rebirth, no. Dins wins that fight a second time. This time it's really not one that he was in a position to win.
13-13, you don't want to be doing that.
No.
Rebirth, he's going to be feeling that. That's going to be painful for him because now the round is, it's gone from a very, very winnable situation to it's a coin toss, right? They got 2 down mid, 1 pushing A wide, and Demise are ready for this. They got 1 guy watching mid, they got 1 guy watching the A peak. They've got people sat on B waiting for this push, and Dins is going to come off with a rotate, which is perfect timing. But again, a missed frag from Method. Demise are reading this really, really nicely.
That's a really... I think that's almost like unfortunate for Method because they were still angling towards that B side with the bomb being there. But Demise thought when they took down Rebirth that he was the only player there. He was trying to pull what Demise pulled, leaving 1 player there to lurk out to try and keep their attention while they rotate over to that A bomb side. So they start to come up behind, trying to go through mid, and then they catch 2 players there. Bomb is going to be dropped, and it's just everything falls apart for Method.
This is a weird round. All the Axis, you think that the Axis are on allies, the positions they've got.
Yeah,
but
sure.
they've pushed up, they got the bomb, and Methods, they're stuck. They don't have any ideas what to do. They didn't get the pick when they needed to on the guy leaving B. They didn't get the picks at mid. Toxi was sat in that little cubby hole. He didn't push out and try and get the guy on tank when he was pushing over to sit on top of the bomb. And again, it's very indecisive from Method, and it seems to be just a lack of direction, a lack of commitment to the goal that they're trying to achieve. Whether that's a rotation through mid, a rotation to A, or try and get heavy control. It seems to be they have this split where 1 guy goes A, 2 guys go mid and go down short, and 2 guys go cinema. But the mid round seems to be, for them, very, very difficult, and they don't seem to be as coordinated as they need to be. And Demise, I don't think they're doing anything special. I think they just keep playing the same game, and Method keep trying to brute force what they're doing, and Demise are just reading it well, and they're just getting the frags, they're getting the trades, they're hitting the shots. And Method, they're really, really struggling. And I'm assuming this is, again, a Method timeout. And the money's not looking good. The loss bonus is okay. But, when you're sat and the other team has 15 rounds, it's butt-clenching time. One mistake, like Rebirth in top heaven there. If you got that kill, they've got control, they've got cinema, and the round's very, very winnable. But 1 whiff, and the tables are turned, and then you start falling apart in mid because you don't have that direction of, okay, let's go to A, let's go down mid as a unit. It's just the spread. They don't know what they're doing. And it's just kind of like they're waiting and hoping for someone like Adamilo to just go insane and kill everyone. Which not likely to happen every single round.
There's a quick replay. That was definitely a knife attempt from Niels, and a heartbreaking one to see come through. There it is. So it was Strove, not Dins, that managed to pick that up, taking down Cordy. It's just been a couple of misplays from Method have really cost them.
I think if they lose this map, they're going to be very, very sour in the sense that they did a lot of things right. A lot of situations you could argue were very unlucky, unlucky of unscoped reg or whatever, but it's the lack of decision making. It's a lack of picking a goal and sticking to it, and a lack of commitment that's gone against them, time and time again.
And well, look, 2 rounds to go for Demise. Like at this point, Method obviously in a better position if they go for that save, right? Like they want to save up those tokens for the next round, but then you're giving into the fact that you can't win this map in regulation. It has to be in overtime. Now, you guys are a team that, at Endpoint in general, tend to go for those ecos a lot more than most teams. Like the likes of Comrade, they would often go for the Force just time and time again. They actually started to play a little bit more reserved, like you guys did. We saw them take a couple of ecos over on Coastal, which we were surprised with. But here on the Method side, do you think they will stick with the eco? Well, they haven't.
I think you get in this mindset when it gets close of, oh, what do we do? When we go B, we get B. Okay, let's rush B, let's rush B. And just trying to force the issue. 2 Thompsons, or 3 Thompsons, 2 carbines. Probably, again, going to look towards B side, but there's been a distinct lack of success with that. Why commit to that? Maybe give someone the Garand, let him go slowly, let him take the fights. You know, Demise are doubling up in heaven. If you just hold the off angle and wait for the guy to push, you can take that frag all day with the Garand, because the Garand is a really strong gun. When it's a carbine versus a Gewurr, or an STG, or an MP40, close range, you got to get a lucky headshot to win the duel. And I think Method, I don't know, they're just trying to brute force things too much. They need to slow it down, get some good weapons in play. Again, the ecos, as you were talking about, because for us, you know, we eco maybe 3 or 4 rounds a half, and what we generally find is 90% of our eco rounds we actually win, because other teams aren't expecting. They're not thinking, okay, their money's low, they're going to do an eco, and we go stack with 5 people, we get 2 guns, and then we win the round. And again, every single round, Demise, 2 people sat in heaven. The Method just trying to brute force it, one at a time. What they need to have here is one guy jumping out, one guy covering his push, and just playing as a team. Again, Adamilo jumps out, Toxi's backed off, and that's not the way to play it. You need to go as a team, you need to commit. The
coordination really wasn't there. Like literally, as you said, one needs to jump out, one needs to cover, one jumped out, nobody covered. And again, falling one by one, no trades coming in. Sure, Toxic finds one, but that's just an aim duel going the way of Method, and it's not happening all too frequently. That's the real problem. I mean, you see it's a 3v2. If they were trading some of these kills, if Adamello waited for Toxic to get that regen on and then they went for the peak together, they find an opening kill. Well, all of a sudden, it's now a 3 versus 3. Then they're making their way towards that bomb site. They've got the upper cinema control. Things are looking a lot better for them, and that's a real problem that they're facing. Method now on 20 seconds left. They've got a man disadvantage. They're trying to fake out the bomb plant. If Toxic dies now, that's it. The round over. Does manage to find the kill, but he has to go for this bomb plant.
And again, this is what we were talking about earlier, right? The Demise have learned from their mistakes. They're pushing up A, they're cutting up the map, they're knowing they can't rotate away, and then Demise, just perfect play. They've got the time on their side. You know, you kill the guy covering him, the guy's planting, just run out together, get him down. Easy round for them.
Well, look, one more round for Demise, and this will all be over. Method have to find 2 in a row. They haven't been doing so well so far. They did manage to get the bomb plant. Now, that boosts their economy a little bit, so we see that they have got an M1 Garan coming out on Qwerty, an M1 Garan on Adamello, and this will certainly help if they do decide to go for that cinema control. They could take those long-range battles earlier on, but ultimately the main concern is how they're playing as a unit, and even if they do manage to find those opening 1 or 2 kills, I mean, we've seen it before, that 1v3 that they lost out on time. And with Nielsk already finding an opening kill, that's going to be Rebirth dropped. An SMG picked up for Adamello, at least. It gives him a little bit more versatility, but I think the M1 Garan's pretty useful at all ranges. I mean, the hip fire capability up close, it matches that surely of the Thompson. Just
it's a very strong gun, and I think Method, you know, they probably should have thrown in a couple of ecos halfway through rather than every round 2 carbines trying to fight in cinema. When you're fighting against an SMG and an MP40, it's, you know, you're putting yourself in a really bad position, and when it goes wrong, you know, what did you expect to happen, right? Adamilo can't peek in and get 2 headshots every single round. It's not sustainable. And again, he's getting the frags. He's got almost 35 frags, and they're looking likely to lose this map, which is, I think it's disappointing, because from Method you'd expect a lot more in terms of their cohesion, their decisiveness, their mid-round decision-making, and the fragging ability of also the other players, not just Adamilo, because he's done a very, very, very good job carrying them on this map.
Yeah, but already into this round with a 2K, but it's been returned as, unfortunately, Rebirth and Adamello have been taken down. Toxture finds 1. Kanaler with 1 as well. Now it's all on Strove. If he can win this out, he claims a victory for his team, and the bomb is over towards that A bomb site. Strove might just be able to pick up 1. There it is. Toxture down. Now with 18 seconds, that could have been the map over.
That's close. That's very, very close. And for Method there, they didn't do anything special. They split across the map, and you know, they just won the duels. When Demise were peeking into them, you know, the guy at mid, he's trying to push for info, find out what's going on so he can let his team know. You know, sometimes he gets that frag and they win a round. Sometimes he doesn't get the frag and they lose a round. But sometimes you got to do that. You got to just push, get the information, and find out what's going on, rather than sitting deep. Okay, 3 of them explode on A, they kill the guy and they plant, and then you lose a round anyway. You got to make those risky plays sometimes, which is good to see Demise doing, rather than playing super, super passive. A Method of very, 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 very scared of their grenades.
Yeah, well, look, it's keeping all their players alive, and up against Gavers and an MP40 in the final round of regulation, they have got the upper hand. 4 Garans in play, Tommy guns on pretty much everybody except Adamello to back up those Garans. This gives them a lot of versatility, capability to take pretty much anywhere on the map. Ooh, that's getting a little bit risky. Yeah, there it is. Qwerty gets taken down by Nielsk. That's a 5v4 already. This Method looked they're getting shredded apart here. The long-range battles coming out for the Gavairs. The Tommy gun's not going to be ideal in those situations. So Adamello finds one, Rebirth with another, but Strove has taken Adam out. It's all on Rebirth. He's got to find a 3K. It's going to be next to impossible for him to do so.
This is going to be tough. Demise know what they're doing. They've been in this situation a number of times before. There's 40 seconds left. They know that Rebirth needs to make some pushes. He needs to make some frags. He needs to make something happen. Go and sit in a defensive position, cover yourselves, run the clock down, kill him when he plants. That, you know, it's that simple. And we can see whoever that is over at Heaven just falling back. Oh, and that's it.
Win.
Yeah, the timing comes in yet again. I mean, Method just couldn't catch a break there. Demise had a similar situation over on their allied side, but ultimately it is going to be Demise coming out on top, 16-14 as a 2-0. That means that we're going to see them in the final tomorrow, and quite frankly, you're going to see them in the final tomorrow.
Hell yeah, we are. You know, good for them. Very, very good for them. I think Method are going to be very disappointed. You know, there's a few rounds where we saw that one key mistake with the guy peeking top cinema, the guy pushing Heaven, that's lost them the round that could have got them the map and put them onto the third. I think they'll be very, very disappointed with that. And I think Demise, ecstatic. You know, if you look back to that one round where Sam was in cinema or whoever it was that killed the plant with 2 seconds left and won the round.
Yeah.
You know, if Method get that round, they got overtime, they got a chance. And there's too many small mistakes that have cost them the game there.
For sure. And I got to ask, how are you feeling now after seeing how Demise play here on Derailed? How are you feeling about
I'm confident because, you know, the way I saw the brackets was our game against CRG was probably the game that, you know, arguably should have been the final because I personally think CRG could beat Demise and Method. I personally think we can beat Demise and Method. Obviously, it depends on who shows up on the day. But I think us against CRG would have been a perfect final, obviously, after Gallantry, where we fought each other a couple of times and we had some really close games. Obviously, we played Demise at Gallantry. And that was quite a close game. They're a very good team. And to be honest, I didn't expect Method to get this far. Given
qualifiers, right?
what we've seen them recently, and obviously them not playing the qualifiers, them just turning up. They've recently got Adamello, who obviously has been amazing for them. He got them those 14 rounds almost by himself.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team, they need to, you know, reconsider what they're doing, and they need to just go back to basics. Someone needs to be the guy saying, right, go away, go mid, do this, do that, and commit as a team because they're just too fluffy. They're not, you know, they're not aggressive enough on attack, at least.
Respect that. And coming into tomorrow, then it's going to be Method taking on Comrade Gaming, and who do you think is going to be coming out on top there?
I see that being an easy 2-0 for Comrade.
Okay.
After that performance, I think if Fire's having a good game, I think that's going to be some sort of 16-9, 16-10, easy sweep for them, depending on the maps.
All right, I respect that. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us, Mark.
Anytime. It's been a laugh.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And you're getting your scouting done for tomorrow up against Demise. We're going to see Mark and the boys of Endpoint in the finals tomorrow, taking on Demise. Before that, it will be Method taking on Comrade Gaming, so be sure to tune into the stream tomorrow. We'll catch you guys then. Good night.
We're going to win. Woo!